Steve Webster, and right round the outside has come Clappenbuck. So just when I thought that Steve Webster had it made, because he had the arrowhead formation grid to give him such a huge advantage, he fluffed his start. The Suzuki bogged down again, and Steinhausen went one side, Clappenbuck went the other, and suddenly Webster's back in third place with new passenger Paul Woodhead. Well, how about that for an unexpected kick-off? So Jörg Steinhausen is leading. He's got a new passenger, the Austrian Christian Parzer. He's at the front. Clappenbuck hasn't got a new partner. He's got the evergreen 44-year-old and Adolf Hani from Tierkachern in Switzerland. And Hani, of course, is the sponsor of the OKM squad. And there's a second team in this squad who qualified back on the fourth row of the grid, Hautzenberger and Madaras. Number 21 at the moment is there behind the leading crew. Number 21, Dave Molyneux and Peter Hill. The Britons are on a Blackbird-engined Molyneux Racing Honda, and that should be a fairly fascinating outfit. And they're challenging as they drop down into Westbank. And behind them, number 15, Martin van Giels and Tony van Giels on the Janssen Racing Suzuki from the Netherlands. This is hotting up in quite a race, Rob.
It's very interesting indeed, because they're almost all Suzukis. Well, in fact, the first and second row were the Suzukis, and the new recruits to the Suzuki camp is the team Clappenbuck and Hani, and that is a manoeuvre.
Webster has just pulled two places at one go, going clean up the inside. How does he do that? How has he got the audacity to do that? It must just be confidence and experience. So just when he thought he had work to do, Rob, he's gone and blitzed to the front before the end of the first lap.
Well, he had nearly a 2 seconds advantage in qualifying, and I was going to say I'll give Steve Webster the benefit of the doubt on that start. He didn't want to give his clutch too much of a hard time, because it's a 25-lap race, and also didn't want to destroy the rear tyre and just spin it up and cause problems. But there's a manoeuvre on Steve Webster. Oh, almost, his teammate almost connected with the back end of Steve Webster there. So that caption that we're looking at the moment is already out of date, because it's it's the Steinhausen-Parzer combination that
Number
in the
12,
hedge.
the Gunner, Barry Fleury and Jane Fleury, the New Zealand husband and wife team off the circuit, and they're going to have to get themselves out of the way now. That's a shame. Out they go. And at the front, Clappenbuck is looking dangerous. He doesn't want to be beaten. Dave Molyneux, apparently they haven't had much time to get practice in on the Isle of Man with that Blackbird engine machine that's in fourth place, but they're right there. And I think right behind them is that Clark Grand Prix team. I think it would be the number one gang of Muldoon and Gusman, because there is actually a number 2 Clark Grand Prix team out there operating now. But that was, and I've forgotten who it is, Brian Gray, a bit further down the field off the start line. They were back on, Gray and Pointer were on the 5th row of the grid. But look at these 4 outfits at the front, 5 outfits at the front. Webster, Clappenbuck, Steinhausen, Molyneux, and number 6, it is indeed number 6 that's in there, Muldoon and Gusman.
But at the start-finish straight now, and it is the most exciting sidecar race I've seen for a while, because that is Clappenbuck and Hani pulled out to take the lead, and they just got fought off by Steve Webster. Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead were able to keep their heads down and defend that leading position. But this is so exciting, we're seeing here, and the Muldoon Gusman ADN engine machine, 1:56.743 on lap 2, that's the fastest lap so far. So they are pulling through. It's interesting to see that. But this is a battle on. Not seen anything as exciting as this since the shootout in Hockenheim. Look, 2, 3 abreast. Oh, on the inside, Steinhausen has made the move and got into second and pushed out Clappenbuck and Hani temporarily back into third place.
Very temporarily, because Clappenbuck's straight back. Take that, he says, and sticks the OKM machine right back into second place. And all the time, those guys, Molyneux and Hill, have got a grandstand view of it. Look at that beautiful Blackbird engined Honda machine. That's a great looking outfit, and it is travelling. Look at those boys go. Rob, he seems to be sticking his nose out every available space. You know the way that the great Nigel Mansell used to race in Formula 1. He never held anything back, did he? You always knew where he was coming from, because he was trying at you every corner of every lap. And I wonder if you give away your nap hand a bit, whether it's not better just to sort of settle back slightly and choose your moment. What do you reckon? What did you used to do?
Well, there's extremes, and 2 very big extremes. There's either the first one where you trail behind the leader and then make your move once and once only with the leader, once you've passed them, not having enough time to recover from being zapped and then getting past you. Or the other extreme is, as Klaus Klavenbach and Adolf Harney are doing, is try and pass on every corner on every lap. And so Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead won't have a game plan to defend and won't be able to defend on, as they expect it, a passing manoeuvre that would come on any corner of any of the laps. And so there is those two extremes, but it's interesting to see this, because it's the most exciting sidecar race I've seen in absolute years, with that duel in the sun, Webster Woodhead and Klavenbach and Harney, and then this titanic battle here with Stuart Muldoon, Herr Herzenberg and Benny Janssen for 4th, 5th and 6th places. Well, it's a dogfight. Any gaps that they see on any corners, well, they're taking the Klaus Klavenbach and Adolf Harney tactics of pass on any corner, because every lap is a last lap.
Every last is indeed a last lap in this instance. I noticed that Benny Janssen's obviously used to having a sidecar wheel in the air. He's showing air all the time.
Oh, number 11.
Goes number 11. Oh, Steenbergen was in 10th place. And that's Paul Steenbergen and René Steenbergen, the Dutch Steenbergen racing team. What a shame for them. They were in 10th place, and it looks like, well, the weather has finally got the better of their Suzuki engine. It's well steamed up indeed. At the front, fortunately, these Suzuki engines aren't. But as Klavenbach gets tight in then, it's almost like he's too close and he loses on the surge out of the corner. But again, he just closes back down as they go through the chicane. I love that top view of the chicane. 5.6, 5.5, 5.3, and that's the gap coming down a fraction between first and third, in fact, as they come out of... And look at that engine of Webster's. Look at the way it just pulls that little bit as they come flat out of the last turn. And you can see that every now and then Klavenbach can't resist looking a lot flat out of the last turn. And you can see that every now and then Klavenbach can't resist looking down that right-hand side. But it's a bit of a no-no because... And I think Benny Janssen's beginning to bother the Clark Grand Prix boys again. I think Muldoon and Gusman are about to be getting taken, and they are. So Muldoon loses his fourth and fifth places now. Janssen has gone through. Janssen goes through. Now I wonder if he can do anything about the escaping Harzenberger. Harzenberger 26 seconds behind the leader. So he's got about just under 2 seconds advantage on Benny Janssen, but now that Janssen's gone through, that's not the leader, is it? Has Klaus Klavenbach gone through? I beg your pardon, I was so busy. 19.6, he's got about 4 seconds actually on Benny Janssen. Has been going quickly, you know, and Janssen has gradually closed the gap down on the man in third place. At the front, the leaders go past us now and now. So Webster's still staying in touch. It's not over till it's over. And here we have the number 6 outfit of Paul Muldoon and his new old sidekick Dipstick Gusman hanging out of the chair as they go deep into Westman and then head off down the mine shaft. And behind them, number 9, Ian Guy and Andy Peach is starting to wake up. The Royal Mail freight train is coming to life fairly late in this race. Muldoon Gusman getting caught by Guy and Peach. There's the Kurtz Racing team, Guy and Peach outfit going through. So lots of battles going on through the field here. It's been a tight race beginning to end. But
certain amount of writing on the wall as far as race wins concerned, Jack, with just 4 laps to go. Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead has got to take out over 0.4 of a second per lap off Klaus Klavenbach, but side by side over the start-finish line. The number 6 and number 9 outfit, who's going to break first into the fast right-hander? And, well, it's not going to be Stuart Muldoon, because he moves ahead of the number 9 outfit, and that is just spectacular stuff. Like you said, Stuart Muldoon inspired with just 4 laps to go and moves ahead.
He's inspired to stay there. He's tried to fend off Guy and Peach, who were making a very late charge, and I thought they really had him there as they went past us. But suddenly Stuart Muldoon must have thought, hang on, what am I letting these guys, as in Guy, past for? So Guy and Peach, you stay put. Guy and Peach still in 7th place, Muldoon 6th. So this is a sort of, an old Britannique battle, really.
An all two-stroke shootout as well.
An all two-stroke. It's a Scottish-English affair, in fact. This is the old one, isn't it? This is Hadrian's Wall all over again.
The old format again, but the two-stroke engines have defaulted to be racing against each other. But look there, just on the caption, just 3 laps to go, and Klaus Klavenbach and Adolf Harney are looking comfortable, looking behind. Oh,
and suddenly,
the guy
Ian
Peach out
Dye
there.
and Andy Peach are in trouble. The hand goes up. Oh, what a shame after pressing so hard for that part in 3rd place. Muldoon and Gusman, 6th. So that's the result of the first race of the first World Sidecar Cup of the new millennium. As the sun goes down over Kyalami, we say congratulations to Klaus Klavenbach and Adolf Harney. They are the winners and therefore the World Championship leaders. Can they make it stick in Phillip Island? You know where to tune in if you want to find out. It'll be all on Eurosport. I'm Jack Bernicle, alongside me Rob Orme. And that was the World Sidecar Championship here for the first time in South Africa. We hope you enjoyed it.
Set for action here at Phillip Island. Warren Smith still calling the action for you with Kevin McGee. You can see, amazingly, at the very end of the day, it is brilliant sunshine here at Phillip Island after it has been Scottish weather, gloomy almost all day. We've had rain on and off throughout the morning and the afternoon. But look at the sunshine now on the sidecar contestants. The world champion sits on pole position. His name is Steve Webster. His passenger is Paul Woodhad, and we are just about ready. They get off on the warm-up lap. It's also my pleasure to welcome a very special guest commentator for the 21 laps of this World Sidecar race this afternoon, Jack Muldoon. Welcome along. Great to have you on board at Fox Sports.
Yep, thanks very much for inviting us up. Looking forward to this. This is going to be a very, very exciting and hard race.
Now, you're very attached to this particular race in a special way, of course. You can tell us why, because you've got a young bloke out there on the grid.
Yeah, to the tune of about 300,000, I'm so attached.
Stuart Muldoon out there on row number 3. His passenger, Chris Guzman. And they will be out there in action. I'll tell you what, they are exciting to watch. They'll head around Southern Loop a number of times, but I suppose we can say that Steve Webster, the current world champion, multiple-time world champion, is going to be very tough to beat here this Arvo.
Yeah, he's been very, very strong through practice, but Klavenbach is a serious threat here. Klaus Klavenbach in South Africa just outpowered them down the straights, and Webber did not have an answer back.
We'll see what happens this afternoon. It will be Klaus Klavenbach. He'll be starting from the 3rd row of the grid, the number 2 man. Webster will be up there on the front of the grid where he has been so many times. And Kevin, I know you've had a couple of goes on the side of the thing, swinging for Steve Webster, haven't you?
Well, yeah, we did do quite a few laps around Zandvoort in Holland back in the old days, in the dark ages, when I did have a 500 to race. And I tell you what, besides scaring the hell out of me, I almost fell out the back down the straight, which I didn't think would be a problem. But when it was all said and done, I was reasonably happy sitting on the back, actually climbing over to the right and hanging out the left side. It was a bit of a thrill.
I'm glad you're in here this afternoon. Actually, I wish you were out there on the grid swinging today, because we'd have quite a lot of fun. We could have put a microphone on you. You could have talked us through a couple of laps while you're out there swinging, Kev.
That wouldn't be a problem. The pay would have to go up about 75 million%, but
it is a rather dangerous pursuit, isn't it, Jack?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's only the brave-hearted out there that are capable of doing it. It takes a long time to get to this level, and these guys will prove it today.
We'll see what happens. They're not far away from coming down and lining up on the grid. As you said, this is the 2nd round of the World Championship. They've already been in action in South Africa.
On that note, Warren, I think you'd be the perfect physical shape to be the swinger on a sidecar, and I think you should be right there.
Is that right? Why I suppose I am 6'2". I suppose I've got a fair reach advantage, which you might need on these things.
Fair amount of ballast to hold that inside wheel down, doing 140 mile an hour under GIO bridge, hanging out the side. You'd be right. You'd be set.
To tell you the truth, I'm very happy here sitting in the commentary box and watching them. But it's going to be exciting. The boys are happy. They're loosening up there. You can see back down the field the team there of Paul Phillips. He's out there having a good time. His passenger kicking the leg up in the air. And it's Steve Webster who will start from pole position. What do you think is going to happen off the line here, Jack?
I think Webster's not a very particularly good starter. Young Steinhausen, I think, will take the lead, and Klaffenbach will be chasing. The two-stroke brigade with Stewart and Janssen, who are both sides of them, are both strong off the line, and I think they'll make a serious charge too.
We get the green light. You can see the smoke pouring out the back of the sidecars as they head down Gardner Straight towards Doohan Corner. They approach turn one. Webster didn't get a bad start. Also there, York Steinhausen from the second row. He sweeps through into second place. So a very good start from those two men from the start of the field. And look at that, Webster has a small advantage as they go into Southern Loop for the first time. Plenty of jockeying back down through the field as well. But it is Webster out in front with the sun setting into the west. Phillip Island here, but it's shining for the moment. Also, you can see, well, we get a retirement off the line. Drama for the Van Gils pairing there. That is a terrible result. Martin and Tony Van Gils struggling, and they won't be taking any part in the race. Around Honda Corner, this is where the passengers really earn their cash, getting over on that rider side of the machine.
A lot of physical work involved, Warren, climbing all over there, and it's against the G-forces and everything as well. So a lot of physical input there from the passengers on these sidecars.
It was Benny Janssen up there into third place, just behind York Steinhausen, who holds down second for the moment. And look at Webster out in front and doing a marvellous job clearing out from them. We are just on lap one. They'll travel 21 laps in total. And here he comes, heading down towards MG Corner for the first time. Plenty of moves coming. Oh, number 27 there getting up the inside, was it? That might have been Shane Suter, one of the local wildcard entries, of course, the Australian. Seen him in action before here at Phillip Island. Nice manoeuvre getting up the inside of one of the back markers coming down the hill towards MG Corner. Down they go. The passengers try and get down as low as they can, and look at this move. Sensational result for Klaus Klaffenbach it was, who was in third place. He just screened past York Steinhausen, Jack.
Yes, he has. He's slightly more power. It's the same in South Africa. He's done exactly the same to Webster as well. But if you watch as the race progresses, they have to watch their back tyres on these. They've got over 200 brake horsepower, and they can't get the power down on the road because the tyres are not capable of carrying it. So there'll be a big tyre factor here.
We'll see what happens. At the moment, it is still Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead rather swinging at the side of the thing, but it is Klaffenbach who is the man on the moon. His passenger Adolf Harney there. Also, as they tip it into Honda Corner, look at Woodhead getting over the back tyre, trying to keep the thing on the ground. And it is Klaffenbach who is the man on the move and trying to reel him in. We'll see what happens. It could develop into a race in two between those two. I'll tell you, in Superpole, Steve Webster, absolute gap between himself and everybody else. He reeled off a 139.226, which was the best part of 2 seconds faster than York Steinhausen, who was second quickest. That was a great lap, Jack.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I'm just watching here where the two strokes are here, if they're fighting back. There's Janssen still, I think. Yeah, Janssen's sitting in fourth place and very strong, and I think you'll see a move on Steinhausen in the next couple of laps here.
A little bit wide coming around the hairpin there at MG, hanging over the inside of the machine with Webster doing the piloting up front. Some traffic coming. Oh, Webster went right into the back of him almost. I think that was the number 13 machine there of Phillips. You're exactly right, Jack. And it might have cost Webster a chance to win this race because Klaffenbach swept through to take the lead.
Yeah, Paul Phillips, he's out here just now with a new passenger, so he's actually going a lot slower to try and bring the passenger in. So this has become a problem with the back markers as early as this for Webster.
He'll be determined to try and regain that lead, and here he is looking around the outside of Klaffenbach, coming over the top of Lukey Heights. He's got the inside line coming down to MG Corner, but he's not close enough to try and get back into the lead. So for the moment, it still is Klaus Klaffenbach out in front of Adolf Harney.
Here with Steve Webster, there looks like a bit of smoke coming out of Webster's machine as he's pulling out of the tight corner.
Drama back down the field for Ian Guy on the grass on the inside of the entry to Honda Corner, and that is an inglorious way, and that is drama there. Oh wow, that is a very inglorious way to crash out at Honda Corner after he was closing in and doing a good job there in that battle for third place between himself and Jörg Steinhausen.
Yeah, this is an incident we could do without here. It's a repeat of last year with Muldoon when Ian Guy spun and pushed the Shane Suter into Stuart Muldoon exactly the same corner, exactly the same type of accident.
Oh, look at the gravel and the dirt being thrown all over the inside of the track as well. And Andy Peach getting thrown out of the thing as well. There he is. Ian Guy, of course, getting trapped just inside there. You can see the bike starting to come apart and it lands right on top of him. That's the last thing you want. It looks to be okay, though. That's a good sign.
Yeah, they're both up and all right. Yeah. Ian Guy looks a bit shaken. I don't see Andy Peach just now, but I'm sure that Andy will be okay. He didn't look too badly hurt there when he was flung out.
He was able to get out of the way. Under the bridge, down to Honda Corner. This is one place where Webster might think about launching an assault. Here he comes down the inside, across the dirt. Oh, they came together. They came together. He took his chances. He lost the swinger. Klappenbach lost Adolf Hani out the side of the machine, and now Webster is back into the lead, and the race will be his. And of course, you can see the effect of having no passenger in the machine. You just can't turn left. Webster took his chances. They came together, and the race will be his.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of gravel on the track there as Webster was braking, and I think he locked up and went into the side of Klappenbach's front of the fairn, pushing him off.
It was always going to be a risk. Of course, it could have worked the other way. Webster could have spun off the track on the inside when he came to the dirt. He lost control of the machine, but of course he had Klappenbach there on the outside. Perhaps Klappenbach, the only mistake he made, he might have taken on the dirt himself and just got in there covering the corner. But of course, with the lead, that would have been a very, very risky move.
Yeah, and there's no way he was going to get traction across the top of those stones. That you could see how many there was and basically how large they are. It's just going to go straight ahead across the top.
Here's Steve Webster. He comes down to the line and picks up the victory in round 2 of the Sidecar World Cup for 2000. And he won it with this move here at Honda Corner. Look at that. Klappenbach, the machine slewing sideways. Adolf Hani coming out of the side of it. That was the end of the section as far as the Austrians were concerned. Webster and Woodhead, they pick up the 25 points here in round 2 at Phillip Island after Klappenbach and Hani reversed the result. This is for Jörg Steinhausen, but Steve Webster, the multiple world champion, he picks up the victory here, 25 points. Jack, thanks very much for helping us out today. It's been a great pleasure having you alongside. I'll tell you what, we saw a pretty good race as well.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, and I'm going back now for the second part of the excitement of the race, because there's no love lost between Webster and Klappenbach, so it'll be exciting in the pits. Thanks very much.
Exactly right. There's Jack Muldoon, of course, one of the mechanics with Stuart Muldoon, of course, and Chris Guzman, of course, who he's his swinger, but there's Webster. He is the winner, and Klappenbach will come home back down through the field after picking up Adolf Hani, but there'll be drama back there in the pits. I better let you go, Jack, and see some of the action, because it might be fisticuffs. Get the gloves out, Kev. That concludes it here at Phillip Island on an exciting day of racing. I tell you what, Kevin, it's been...
Sidecar World Championship led by Brits, Webster and Woodhead. Let's go back to Donington.
Welcome to Donington Park for the World Sidecar Cup Round 3. They've been to South Africa, to Kyalami. They've been to Australia, to Phillip Island. Now they're here in far better weather altogether in Great Britain at Donington Park. And the men who are leading the World Championship, Steve Webster and his new sidekick Paul Woodhead in the Team Steinhausen Racing Suzuki, are on pole position. And remember, it's an arrowhead formation pole position. So these guys, Klaus Klappenbach and Adolf Hani, second in the championship last year, second in qualifying, have to be behind that Olympia Riesen Steinhausen Racing Suzuki. And that's Webster and Woodhead, who have a clear view of the track in front of them down to Redgate. They won in Australia. They were second in South Africa. They won in Australia after some extremely dodgy tactics by an outbreaking manoeuvre on sheer marbles that sent them skittling into the side of Klappenbach in the Honda turn, the hairpin turn on the last lap. And Klaffenbach almost upended, lost his passenger Adolf Harney, as you may very vividly remember. And that's the number 21 Honda Britain outfit of Molyneux and Hill, former TT winners, who've so far not had much success here on the World Championship scene. They've yet to open their scoring. Perhaps today will change everything for those AXO-clad blue and white boys. So that's the number 21 outfit. We'll be keeping an eye out for David Molyneux and Peter Hill on the Molyneux Racing Honda. Alongside him on the third row of the grid, the number 17 machine of Benny Janssen and Trevor Hopkinson, the Janssen Racing BRM Dutch racer, the former world motor sidecar cross champion way back in 1990. Passenger Trevor Hopkinson, he lost his original Dutch passenger last year. They'd had a long and illustrious career together, but both on dirt and on the road. But a nasty accident at Albacete meant that we waved bye-bye to the original passenger there. We've also got welcoming number 3, Stevie Abbott and Jamie Biggs on the Grevensek Racing Yamaha. They, of course, haven't been with us so far. They didn't make the long, expensive trip to South Africa and to Australia. This is the number 6 outfit of Stuart Muldoon, and Chris Gusman, the Clark Grand Prix Racing ADM. And the Scottish outfit will be looking to make some sort of impression here at Donington Park. It's as near as they get to home territory. We don't go much further north than this. I'm Jack Bernicle. I've got with me, alongside me, I've got a man who, very bravely, went on 4 or 5 laps round Donington Park yesterday with, on Friday, with Steve Webster. Now, this is true, isn't it, Rob? Because I didn't see it for real. I've got to believe it, and I think I know that it's true because you looked incredibly wide-eyed and exhilarated when you reappeared on Friday evening. So, tell me about it. What was it like?
Well, we spoke about it almost jokingly at Phillip Island. Steve Webster came up to me and said, I know you've got a poorly left knee, but that's no excuse that you won't come out and be passenger with me for a handful of laps when we get to Donington Park. But sure enough, I showed up on Friday evening after regular contract work had been done and got permission from SBK and the management here at Donington Park, and about 6:05, the most exciting and exhilarating experiences I've ever had, next to doing some free-fall parachuting a few years ago. Now, I can't stay away from these reckless things, but joking apart, it's given me a first-hand experience of just what you've got to do, what you've got to be able to cope with out there on track. The gripping points on these enormously powerful 1200cc Suzuki outfits. The main anchor point is just with your left hand in the middle of the part of the passenger compartment, and I was given good advice by Steve Webster. He said, and Paul Woodhead said, do not let go of that, whatever you do. Whether it's a left-hander or a right-hander or braking for the straights, hang on to that centre section, which I did, a real white-knuckle ride. And I made some ginger efforts at changing position for the left-handers and right-handers around Donington Park. But by far the most exhilarating...
The red Gatewood can't, and I think he's certainly lost out big time, because Steve Webster is the man who's powered through to the, of course, of that wonderful arrowhead formation start, which is very nice for the man in pole position, which he secured with a 1:38.045 lap. Ahead of Klaffenbach and Harney, 1:38.333, and Steinhausen and Christian Partzer on 1:39.512. And look at the outfits hammering down the hill now towards the old hairpin. Oh, using all the track and more. At the front, we got that outfit of Webster and Woodhead, and they are the guys who are leading the World Championship at the moment. So the man who's got that terrible start from the Clark Grand Prix outfit of Paul Muldoon and Chris Gusman, they are way downfield on outfit number 6, but look at the lead that Webster's pulling out already. The number 3 outfit of Stevie Abbott and Jamie Biggs, welcome back boys, on the Yamaha, in the frame as they come howling down the hill. In fact, they're in second place. They're suddenly up into second place, and Klaus Klaffenbach's tried to follow them through. Whoa, one of them's gone straight on there. It might have been the Molyneux Hill outfit, I'm not sure, but someone went straight on at the Fogarty S's, not the way that they wanted to go, nor the way they intended to go. Here's Klaffenbach, he's through on the inside, and he's pursuing wide. The Clark Grand Prix outfit was downfield. They had some problem, Rob. They've had to dive into pit lane, and out they go again, but they'll be nearly a lap down. So a lousy start there to the guys who are presently 10th in the championship, Muldoon and Gusman.
5%. But the number 7 outfit there, good old duct tape there. The bodywork's been broken, and so they're just doing a quick pit lane repair job on that, and back out the Grey Pointer outfit, the ADM 2-stroke outfit, back out on track again. But that engine on the 33 outfit has well and truly launched itself. Smoke like that, well, they're not going to restart the race. Better to get out. And the Stafford Cox Suzuki GSXR engine is on fire. We need some fire extinguishers. Please get the fire department over there. That is
Stafford and Cox pleading with someone to come and put it out.
That is, I think, at Redgate, braking for Redgate corner, but it doesn't matter where it is. That bodywork is going to be getting very, very hot, and they've sprayed that fire extinguisher just about everywhere else.
Now this raises an interesting point. Does the guy who... Do the guys have to have been in the race at that point? We haven't got predictable weather. It's just great when it's around, so you make full use of it.
Very much so.
And here's Jack Clark himself, and Jack Muldoon himself, rather, the Clark Grand Prix Honda team, in his kilt. He says that nowadays he'll always stick a kilt on to make sure that everyone's aware that they're Scottish. See those?
We'll have to get a tyre that's going to be able to transmit that power to the track surface.
For 23 laps, or in this case 18, but that's long enough.
Yeah, absolutely right.
But it's great that at least this restart has benefited a few people, and there is the Clark Grand Prix outfit amongst them, because we were down to 10 outfits circulating on the same lap after 3 laps. So we're hoping that the 20 guys on the grid this time around can manage a little more than that. Get as far as Webster, at least he knows he's secure in second place. But Biggs once more coming round the outside on that green and silver outfit. Steinhausen is in 4th place behind says Stevie Abbott and Jamie Biggs, but the men at the front are the men you expect it to be. And look at the daylight underneath Adolf Hardy's share with left as they go down through the Craner curves and then sling it left, and that's through the old hairpin. Daylight once again as they go up onto Starkey's and up towards McLean's.
That we saw in Australia. But to answer the question on tyre choice, with 4th place is Steve Abbott.
And this is the Clark Grand Prix team of Muldoon and Gusman diving inside that number 10 outfit of Patrick Honke and Pascal Legrave. Good move from him. And this is an interesting...
Too much momentum, so the corner speed, the net effect is the corner speed is higher.
Right.
As you would do perhaps in a kart racing, you tug the steering wheel and the back end slips around whilst maintaining the revs and momentum. So it's a similar sort of principle. But I haven't yet driven a sidecar outfit, so perhaps I should speak with Steve Webster. And he might trust me and allow me to drive his, although it's not likely to be till the end of the season.
Here's the Clark Grand Prix outfit. Stuart Angus Muldoon. He's the man in the driving seat, and Chris Dipstick Gusman. This is the team for having lost his sidecar passenger to reigning champion Steve Webster. And look at the last 3 gaps. From 3.375, that gap has been reduced to 1.213 seconds between this man, Stevie Webster, and that man, Klaus Klaffenbach, who's
12 now.
And the Clark Grand Prix outfit, the number 7 Clark Grand Prix outfit. That's the Grey Pointer outfit is out. I beg your pardon, Rob. I was revving up then, because for a second I thought it was the number 6 outfit of Muldoon that had gone out, but no, it's Brian Gray, who's well, looking just... He's got a gap of 4.8 seconds over his teammate Jörg Steinhausen, but remember, Steinhausen's involved with a battle for championship honours himself, so there's not going to be any team orders there, as the number 6 outfit of Muldoon and Gusman is battling to stay ahead of the number 20 outfit of Victor Hansen and Tony Soares, the Hansen Racing outfit. And look, just in front of them, number 22, Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs, the Hanks Racing Yamaha. So some great action going on amongst the British boys here, and that's Tom Hanks, of course, a guest rider really in the World Cup, a wild card here at Donington Park, and he's got the regular British campaigners Muldoon and Gusman for company. Muldoon and Gusman down in 10th place in the championship. They haven't had a very good start to the series. They've got 10 points in South Africa. They got nothing in Australia, and they'd deeply like to put that to right, and I think they'd deeply like to get past Tom Hanks as well. At the moment, these guys are lying in 6th place. Tom Hanks is 5th ahead of them. And look at that, FTC Hanks Racing Yamaha. Oof. And Muldoon is obviously desperately trying to find a way through as they snake through McLean's. The battle for 5th place in Park in the Sidecar World Cup. Tom Hanks, number 22 outfit with Phil Biggs in the chair, ahead of the number 6 outfit of Stuart Angus Muldoon and Chris Dick Gusman. And who's going to get it? Because this is a great battle going on. The guys from the Clark Grand Prix team, who remember were having overheating problems right at the beginning of the first attempt at running this race, they slide down the inside, and Tom Hanks left the barn door open, and Muldoon said, thanks very much, I'm on my way through. So Angus sneaks through into 5th place, and instantly Tom Hanks thinks about retaliating into Goddard's, but decides to think better of it. No, perhaps I can't quite fit. You need a bit more space than that. I am not a solo machine. As they scream across the start and finish line now with 3 laps to go. They're passing our commentary position, and they're throwing it right into Redgate. Klaus Klavenbach at the front has a 4.8 second advantage over Stevie Webster. And Webster in turn has a exactly 4 second advantage over his teammate York Steinhausen. And Benny Janssen, all on his own. He is in 4th place, and 5th and 6th place are these guys, Stuart Muldoon and Tom Hanks, battling it out. It looks as if Muldoon's got this one won. I don't know whether Muldoon's got any possibility of actually making any inroads into Benny Janssen's lead on him. It looks like he's pretty much on his own, but he's certainly looking crisp. As the outfit, I love the way the outfit sort of bite chunks out of the corners. There's no sort of predictable radius about the way they go through them. But did it feel like that when you're in the chair, Rob?
Very much so. It feels worse than that because you're actually in there experiencing cleanly around this time.
Klaus Klavenbach, he's beginning to look at Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs in the closing stages on that Yamaha engine. So Suzuki BRM, ADM and Yamaha are all featuring in that top 6. Behind them, we've got
Welcome to the Sidecar World Cup here in Valencia, the Spanish round, and we're at round 7, and we're looking at the Clark Grand Prix squad, the number 6 squad of Muldoon and Guzman, who've got there first, and being wished the best of luck there by Dad Jack Muldoon, the Clark Grand Prix Honda team manager, who are sporting a kilt. We hope he doesn't throw that kilt widely up in the air and shows the dreadful turkey's head he has done previously, bless him, proving that in fact Scotsmen don't wear anything under their kilts. Please Jack, no. They had their first rostrum at Misano a week ago. Brilliant result for them, and they have qualified on the 2nd row here. It is of course the famous pointed grid. So the Clark Grand Prix boys are on actually the 3rd row of the grid there, number 6. That's the 3-man row alongside Janssen, Hopkinson and Stevie Abbott and Jamie Biggs. And then the 2-man row in front of them is Steinhausen and Parzer, the number 8 Suzuki, and Klavenbach-Harney, the number 2 Suzuki, the OKM machine on the left, and of course that menacing number 1 at the front of Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead. And we are looking forward to round 7 as they head off on their warm-up lap. There are only 17 outfits on the grid, and the reason for that is that we lost one of the guys, unfortunately, after an accident in training, which means that they weren't able to make the start. We've also lost, incidentally, Brian Gray, the 2nd of the Clark Grand Prix teams. We've lost Hausenberger, who was 4th in the championship up until that point. So rather unfortunate for him that he's not able to make the start. Hausenberger, he had not had a chance to go out because of technical problems in the first qualifying session. In the second qualifying session, which was a wet one, having no chance to really set a respectable time, he crashed in the first turn, and his passenger Waffler was injured. So that was it really. They were out of it, which is a great shame for Hausenberger and Waffler, because as I say, they were lying in 4th place in the championship, and of course they're not going to get any points today. 55 points at the moment. Steinhausen is 3rd in the championship with 88. Klavenbach and Harney are on 117, and the leaders and defending champions, Steve Webster, of course, with new sidekick Paul Woodhead on 135. Steve Webster, number 22 outfit of Tom Hanks, and Ian Simmons has also made a great start and is right there in the reckoning as they come howling past us for the first time. Many thousands of cc's of screaming sidecars. Steinhausen, Webster, Klavenbach, Abbott, Hanks 5th. Molyneux in 6th place. Van Giel 7th. Ian Guy in 8th place. Get here.
Oh, it's early.
Clark Grand Prix squad, I beg your pardon, Rob, has got through ahead of Molyneux and Hill, so they really are making tremendous progress. And the outfit that didn't arrive until 3 o'clock Thursday morning, because had been after limping through the night with a puncture in its rear inside tyre of the trailer. They were extremely happy after that terrific performance at Misano. No problems throughout practice. Tyre problems in choosing the right compound, but no problems like that. For Buck did a 1:43.5 on that lap. Abbott a 1:44.1, Janssen 1:44.1, Hanks 1:45.4, and Muldoon 1:43.393. Muldoon, if he hadn't hashed his start of the Clark Grand Prix outfit, there's Stuart and Chris very, very confident for a rostrum finish this weekend again. But you've got to get out the start, boys, to do that, because you've got to catch up with these big heavyweights up front. New American sponsors in Teledyne relays. Very happy with the performance of the team of the Clark Grand Prix team in Misano. Negotiations going on for next year, so come on, boys, get yourselves in the frame. Steinhausen, Webster, Klaffenbach are the first three. Abbott, Janssen, Muldoon are 4th, 5th and 6th. Hanks has been pushed back to 7th, Molyneux 8th. And there is the moment at which the Clark Grand Prix outfit of Muldoon and Gusman forced its way inside. A surprise, Tom Hanks and Ian Simmons just keeping his backside clear. 15 laps to go. Lap has taken the lead. Webster at a 1:43.378. Steinhausen 1:43.3. Abbott 1:43.5. So those guys keeping up a terrific pace, and Paul Muldoon has moved through. Decided to start coming to the World Sidecar Cup races, and he's been very, very impressive.
Steve Abbott's got his left hand up there. That is Jamie Biggs indicating that the 1050cc Yamaha engine or something has gone bump in the night, and poor old Steve Abbott holding on to that 4th place, but to no effect. There's no smoke coming out of the back of the outfit, which suggests that the motor hasn't blown, that it's simply stopped and something has just given up the ghost. So that's a big, big shame there, because Steve Abbott
lead at the moment. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to see if Benny Janssen can catch the Clark Grand Prix, guys. It was back in Spain at Albacete just 12 months ago that number 17, Flying Dutchman Benny Janssen, had a major collision that damaged his passenger, Franz Gertz van Kessel, the man with whom he'd raced for over 20 years. And now, with Trevor Hopkinson in the chair, the number 17 outfit of the former world sidecar motocross champion is right there, challenging for 5th place against the Clark Grand Prix squad of Paul Muldoon and Chris Gusman. And that beautiful blue Hanks Simmons outfit trying to hang on to the two of them. But Benny Janssen, 42 years young, became national sidecar road racing champion in 1994 and again in 1995 in Holland, and then was 9th in the World Sidecar Championship World Cup in 1998, and then dropped of course to 17th because he went out halfway through the season last year. But he's back, and so too is Webster, as they
a second faster than Steve Webster's super pole position. And now Claffey is, relatively speaking, settled back into the high 142s and 143s.
As Benny Janssen comes right alongside the Clark Grand Prix Honda. Oh, and the Clark Grand Prix guys are blocked by a back marker. The number 14 outfit of Lachty, but he nevertheless swings across and grabs that bit of tarmac and says, "Thank you very much, I'll have that. Not letting you get past just yet." And Gusman takes a long look over his shoulder just to check. And that number 14 outfit, Lachty must have wondered where they were coming from. He's in... And that was how the problem came about, because we almost, look at that, they were actually touching one another. The Clark Grand Prix guys, Muldoon went way wide as he tried to lap Lachty in a hurry, and suddenly he found himself clashing fairings with Benny Janssen. Don't mess with this man, he's a former motocrosser. And this next out, but there we go. The Alofani is clapping Claffey round the shoulders as if to say, "Well done, sunshine. Hope you checked your fuel yesterday." This Benny Janssen still hasn't made it past that obstinate man, Paul Muldoon. Muldoon and the Clark Grand Prix Honda are hanging on there in 4th place. It's not over yet. The Teledyne Clark Grand Prix Honda dives down into the final turn, and Benny Janssen Bless his heart. Not quite having made it after all that effort. Some real fairing, bashing stuff there going on for 4th and 5th place. Paul Muldoon takes it. Janssen is 5th. And I think Hanks is going to go across the line. Just hold off Dave Molyneux as they go past us now. I thought for a moment that a hand went up in the Hanks outfit as if they might have been having some problem. They were. Oh, can you believe it? Tom Hanks and Ian Simmons are having to run for the line, and they're getting overtaken in the meantime. Molyneux's gone across in 6th place. Oh, can you believe that? They must have run out of fuel. Or is it on fire? Now, hang on, fellas. What's more important? Yeah, that's all very well. If I were you, I think I'd run for cover. But obviously they desperately want to finish. Ian Simmons risking his life now, a standing passenger. And they're asking for a mobile fire extinguisher. Hanks is still in 7th place. Ian Guy and Andy Peach haven't shown up yet.
It's a possibility that is where the exhaust outlet into the air, and there's so much heat from that. If there's not a fire extinguisher soon, this is not going to be a laughing matter. Just want to get the points first.
And the fire extinguisher arrives. And, oh, a dramatic collapse there.
I think you'd be tired out of trying to push the outfit in 30 degrees of temperature. The guy is tired.
Well, I think he's probably saying, can I retire again now, please? Can I go and play back at home, Mr. Hanks? And it looks as if Tom Hanks and Ian Simmons aren't going to get any points. Unless, can they carry on pushing now? For goodness sake, all they've got to do is get across the line. Go on, mate, keep going. You'll have to keep your helmet on, though, otherwise they'll say you've broken the rules. Come on, you can do it, Sunshine. He is going to have a bash as well. Oh, no, he can't. Oh, yes, they are going to push him over. Surely that's outside assistance. Is that allowed? I don't know. Well, they've both got cool hairdos. Keep pushing, boys. At the moment, Ian Guy's gone across the line in 7th place. Van Giels, remember, was lapped. So these guys, if they can make it to the finishing line, and they've got to keep their crash helmets on, if they can make it to the finishing line, then they'll get 8th place. They're just about there. The checkered flag is trying to encourage them. Another dramatic collapse. Ian Simmons falls all over the chair. His crash helmet lolls off his bald head. Oh, bless him. So there, I come all this way to stand in for you. I almost suffer incineration and then heat exhaustion, and we get 8th place for our troubles. Well, what a wonderful finish. Klaffenbach, well, it was wonderful for us to watch. I'm sorry, Tom Hanks, I appreciate it wasn't the best of finishes for you. You should have been 6th, you ended up with 8th place. Klaffenbach and Harney then, they win a fine race against Webster and Woodhead. Steinhausen and Partzer eventually 24.9 seconds adrift in 3rd place. Muldoon, Gussman, who really were on the pace of the leaders for a lot of the time, and Webster did a 1:41.990 on his last lap. So that was a pretty dramatic race. Ian Guy and Andy Peach, they finished in 7th place. So that was the World Cup sidecar from Valencia. The hot seat with Steve Webster. Webber said he was taking it gently, and Rob assures me he wasn't. So you could see that.
And of course he wants to beat Steve Webster wherever and whenever possible, and Assen no exception at all.
Steinhausen and Christian Partzer also getting a good start from the 2nd row of the grid, really getting some drive off the grid as they head down to the first right-hander, where Claffey and Adolf Harney have been off 3 or 4 times during practice. They reckon they've got it right now, but they've certainly made an awful start. And Stevie Webster hasn't. He launches in at the front with number 22, Tom Hanks and Paul Simmons on the Hanks Racing Yamaha, making a fabulous start, surging through into 2nd place, and I think Dave Molyneux might have followed him on that big Honda UK Fireblade. This is going to be some sort of race, but already we've lost one of the guys off at the, and that looks like, is it like Lichty and Locher are off, the Swiss pairing, riding number 14, Kurt Lichty and Daniel Locher off, and I don't think they're the only ones. So that could be good news for some rivals in the championship. The number 20 outfit's also off. Jan Hansen and Tony Soers on the Hansen Racing Suzuki. I beg your pardon. Kuipers is riding with Hansen, or was riding with Hansen, because he'd had an off in a French National Championship round, so he'd hiked a Dutch passenger on board. Well, that Dutch passenger didn't last long, and look at this! At the front, Webster's lost the lead. Is his teammate Jörg Steinhausen is in there. Oh, tremendous stuff. So Jörg Steinhausen proving just how rapid he's getting. He's snatched the lead off his erstwhile senior partner. Webbo looks up the inside at the end of the back straight. There's no room there. And it's Tom Hanks who hangs on there, the number 22 outfit, in second place. Incidentally, Hanks with 38 points, 1 point behind Stevie Abbott on 39, and then 2 points ahead again, Ian Guy and Van Giels on 41. So there's lots of places to be fought for in this sidecar race today. That's the OKM outfit, the number 2 outfit, a perennial runner-up, and that's Klaus Klaffenbach with Adolf Hardy on board, making progress after that really ham-fisted start. He's never been very good on starts, has he? He always likes to work his way through. James in 97, 98 and 99, another hat-trick. And now it's Paul Woodhead on board with him, and someone not on board there, looked like he'd actually fallen out of the outfit, running back, head, and what's happened here? Let's see if it's... Oops, a daisy. Oh, and no wonder he got flung out, poor lad. I thought he wasn't hanging on well enough. That was Benny Janssen, his partner, Trevor Hopkins. So it was Trevor on the Janssen racing team. Great stuff, Trevor. I think there's a place for you in an Olympic sprinting team. Running like that in leathers, look at that, that's impressive. Lobs himself back on board. Oh, sort of slightly overrun it. And Joyce, these is the early days, I think at 40 years old. He's a kid at heart, isn't he? And he's still having fun doing this.
A philosophical character also. Oh, and it's a disaster. That Woodhead out of the sidecar passenger. Foot caught the cobblestones and it kicked him out of there. Oh, we hope Paul Woodhead's all right. He took a big tumble there, but hopefully... Well, I don't think he's allowed to finish. He can't possibly be allowed to finish the race with only himself on board. So suddenly, and how on earth did he manage that? Oh, he really... he was really hanging on and couldn't hang on hard enough, and suddenly he was like a solo rider being ejected, and that was a long hard tumble. It just shows how fast the outfit's going on that as they come out of that final S's, and it means this is the battle for the lead. This is so important now for Klaus Klaffenbach, for Klaus Klaffenbach's potential World Championship chances. Remember, tails by 38 points in the championship. If he could get 25 points for winning, that would be just... Oh, does Steve Webster know that? What on earth's going to happen? Webster gets out of the way, but he's still slightly blocked Claffey as Claffey tries to go around the outside. The fastest part of the course is surely got through. They contact as they go through. Oh, Steinhausen hangs on. Claffey's got the line. No, he hasn't. Steinhausen really learning from his dad, Rob, how hard to be, and that's destroyed the sidecar wing. So Adolf Hardy's got bare rubber scorching round beside him now, and that's probably just about decided it. He kicks that errant piece of bodywork off, but they'll have to settle for second place. So the Austrians showing no mercy to one another in that dash down the back straight, and that dramatic moment has decided this Sidecar World Cup round 9. Steinhausen looks as if he's going to take, well, barring his passenger falling out or something else equally unlikely, he's going to take the win, his second win of the season, his second ever World Cup victory. He won at Hockenheim. He's going to win again on the equally rapid, if somewhat more curly and curvy, Assen circuit. Into the final S's go Steinhausen. Klaffenbach hangs on for second place and 20 precious points, and Steve Webster riding completely solo will come over in third place. But will he be? Oh, and now we've got, what on earth's going on? We've had two outfits collide, and that's Molyneux. I think Molyneux may have had to coming together with Benny Janssen, because Janssen was the man who was catching him. Steve Webster, meanwhile, wants to find out how his passenger is. It's complete uproar here, because obviously Paul Woodhead took a very nasty fall indeed, and Webbo, sprightly 40-year-old, sprints over to find out how his passenger's feeling. So amidst all of this, here is Benny Janssen. So he's still on track and back on track, but he surely must have had some sort of coming together with the Dave Molyneux outfit. So Paul Woodhead being attended to. So far we've got three finishers: Steinhausen, Klaffenbach and Stevie Abbott. And Webster
of course, is over there having not been counted in the final analysis. He's crossed the finishing line, then run off to check out Paul Woodhead, as you would expect. Paul Muldoon hasn't crossed the finishing line yet. We hope he's still in one piece somewhere. I mean, after a last lap like that, you never know what the devil's going on. There must have been pieces of bodywork and gravel spewing all over the place. So Steinhausen and Christian Partzer take their second victory.
There's the laws of physics, they work against you and quite literally throw you out of the outfit like Paul Woodhead was.
So once that foot had gone, he was really struggling to stay in the outfit at all.
He cannot hang on. Even as strong as Paul Woodhead is, you can't hang on.
And he is strong. Have you seen him? Very special wet sump, but it's just an inch deep underneath that specially lowered engine. An aluminium sump scarcely an inch deep that ensures there's enough oil, just enough oil splashing around in that mammoth 1200cc motor. So Webster, Klaffenbach and Steinhausen are the guys who all really have some chance at the championship. 31 points between third and first places, 50 points to go for, so mathematically it's still all there as they cruise round slow-mo style towards the brave man with the red flag, standing slap bang in front of Steve Webster, because of course this is the arrowhead formation grid, similar to the one that allowed James Ellison to get a rocket ship start from pole position in the European Superstock Championship this morning. So the guys on those rather confused markings on the starting grid here at Oschersleben, they've got to select their appropriate spot. Steve Webster in pole position. You can see that Adolf Hani in the chair on the left-hand side there, Klaffenbach in the driving seat. Now, the main thing to do in this mix-up, wow, they are way down. They must have got a shocking start. I wonder what the secret is to getting these machines off the start, Rob. Whatever it is, then Tom Hanks didn't find it that time around.
A combination of clutch control and trying not to spin the rear wheel is that, and also keeping an eye on somebody who might be in front of you, not moving at all.
And I've just completely, I've done him complete wrong, because he's right there in fourth place. I've mixed him up with another blue outfit. Please, Tom Hanks, do forgive me. Right there in fourth place, because remember, he was showing very, very strongly throughout the race at Assen until the machine P1 outfit goes out. That's Morrissey and Restall. Morrissey and Restall go out. Dan Morrissey and Paul Randall, the second of the Clark Grand Prix Excalibur Racing Team machines. What a shame for them. Further downfield, these bright and colourful outfits enjoying it.
Particular, better than even the current race leaders, Klaus Staffenbach and Adolf Hani. So that is good work done, good investments of time and effort. And again, Jörg Steinhausen and Christian Partzer able to learn and gain experience and get their outfit set up as well, which is, on the grand scale, again, a sting in the tail for Steve Webster, because that possible potential parting of the ways between him and the team Steinhausen, well, you sort of look in the biscuit tin and take all the ideas and the techniques and so on, all the best bits, sweets from the trolley, shall we say, and then say, well, sling your hook, Steve, we've got all the answers now, you can go and do something else next year.
Thanks for all the advice. This is the hard-working Clark Grand Prix squad of Stuart Angus Muldoon, 26-year-old Scotsman, with Chris Dipstick Gusman in the chair, and Gusman was showing how he's really throwing himself about. They're being pursued in the battle for fifth place by Tom Hanks and Paul Simons, puffing smoke out the back of that Hanks racing machine and beginning to lose a bit of ground. The men on the move with those Scottish helmets, the number 6 red and yellow outfit, and I hope that means we're not going to have a brazen display by Jack Muldoon at the end and his kilt. But the FTC Hanks Racing outfit has slipped back now to 6th place. Muldoon and Gusman really making a good fist of things in the Clark Grand Prix machine. And they've had after suspension problems during practice, that number 6 machine has had its suspension setup sorted out by the Tech 2000 shock absorber people, and a gearbox problem replaced 4th, 5th and 6th gears, and finally getting the correct tyre setup. Well, after working all night, well, not quite, they finished by 10 o'clock last night, got everything together, and it's paying dividends because they've advanced to 5th place. Incidentally, Stuart and Chris both like this at this track, and I think that'll help a lot. Rob, if you really enjoy slinging your sidecar outfit and your hook round here, you're going to have a whale of a time, aren't you, with these 14 corners packed into the lap of just over 2.2 miles.
Very much so, and one of the many techniques that sidecar racers employ, not necessarily braking that much at any given moment at all, but putting the outfit sideways in order to, the same as anybody else could withstand yet another bouncing at the speeds that they're going around here.
And you're making me wince every time he bends those legs. And look at this, Paul Woodhead, Stuart Woodhead and Gus Gussman, Stuart Muldoon and Gus Gussman can't do anything about Tom Hanks and Paul Simons. They touched them in the attempts to stay there, and the Scottish boys on the Clark Grand Prix Honda have to pick themselves back off the gravel and hope that nothing's got where it shouldn't be. And Tom Hanks is through. Is everything all right there? Let's see how it happens from this angle. Oh, punt them up the back, boys. Wow. And that was Tom Hanks getting through almost unscathed. We hope it hasn't done any damage to either machine. They can both carry on, because Tom Hanks will have punted his way through into 5th place, or been punted through into 5th place, ahead of this outfit of Stuart Muldoon and Gus Dipstick Gussman.
Well, there's black tyre marks on the Scottish flag of the outfit then that was doing the punting, so hopefully no damage to the front of that outfit. But I was relieved to see that there wasn't a limb between the collision then that took place in front of us. I was there would have been more than just a little dint and a ripple in the front of the bodywork. So full contact sport yet again in sidecar. Like I said, Jack, the precedent has been set after the last
towards, I think they're coming up towards one of the Clark Grand Prix outfits. And once again, a little bit in the hands of how the Scotsmen choose to behave. And it's the number 6 outfit with the rubbed nose. It's the number 6 outfit of Stuart Muldoon and Gus Gussman. They are the people who've got to get out of the way next. Well, I wonder who they might favour, or will they just choose to get cleanly out the way of everybody? They may not necessarily, of course, be expecting company so suddenly, but they're going to get it any minute now, and Klaffenbach gets underneath them where he needs to go, and that was a brilliant move. He didn't hesitate at all. Stevie Webster, though, gets through well as well, and look at the tyre burning off that rear, that perhaps softer rear end, as they go into what I think might be the final lap, and that was a 134.715 for Klaffenbach, a 134.617 for Webster, a 134.664 for the third man, Jörg Steinhausen. Klaffenbach and Adolf Harney know that they've got a great silver whale for company. The question is, can they hold their nerve, can they hold their line, can they hold their act together? Because if they can, then they've got victory in the bag. But every time he comes out of that left-hander, what a magnificent sight, as Webbo, as if a 40-year-old from the village of Easingwold in York ought to be behaving like that in his spare time, in his leisure time. This is indeed leisure time. It is as far as Paul Woodhead's concerned. And whether he's, well, I should think he's forgotten the pain. The adrenaline must be flooding through.
So that keeps things well and truly alive in the Sidecar World Cup Series. And that'll be interesting. And Jörg Steinhausen and Christian Partzer, they were really flying in the closing laps. That on lap 26, Jack, as you say, a 133.309. So who's to say if Jörg Steinhausen hadn't got held up that little bit, he could have been in much more in contention with the leading duo. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be good to see them at Brands Hatch and that circuit. Well, that'll sort out the men from the, well, younger men, shall we say.
And there is around 200 points for Stevie Webster. Klaffenbach 187 points, so he's that 13 tantalising points adrift as we go into the last round at Brands Hatch. And of course you'll be able to join us for that final round in Brands Hatch live on Eurosport, because we'll be enjoying the action from World Superbike, World Supersports and the Sidecar World Cup. Klaus